101.5 FM, Tracy the Big D on the fences on a Thursday night, keeping up to date with all of the weather happening around the place, but also playing some of the best Aussie music around.
What a great mix we've had tonight. Look, I mean, I reckon we're probably around at the moment 90% Australian music.
Says she who does the playlist, giving herself a bit of a rap. It's always good to see some new CDs come through and some people that you haven't heard of and so forth. But we got this new album in about a week and a half ago, I think, called One Way Ticket, and the gentleman's name is Greg Byng, and we decided we'd find out more about this man with the name Greg Byng, and he joins us on the line now. G'day, Greg, how are you?
Hey, mate, how you going?
Mate, we're not too bad. How's Wagga faring after all of that terrible, nasty weather a few weeks ago?
We fairly well copped it. North Wagga, there's about 200 houses in North Wagga got flooded out and completely trashed. So, and they were pretty scared about the central CBD as well. The levee bank was a bit dodgy there for a while. They evacuated everyone from central there. So it was, they were getting pretty scared at one stage.
It is a scary thing, isn't it, when you like with the flooding, because you just don't know where or how much it's going to come. But I tell you what, one thing that we do have, Greg, is we have a big old Aussie spirit where everyone gets in and helps out everyone else. Are you finding the same thing down there in Wagga?
Yeah, no, and it's been really good to see all the things on Facebook and everyone helping out, and like the Wagga Musos are doing a big flood relief concert this Sunday up at the park. So they've got some really good. They've got John Williamson and Casey Chambers and Shane Nicholson coming, and some really big names, and all the local guys are getting together to help out as well. So.
As you'd expect, all the locals there. Now, this album that we got, of course, One Way Ticket. How long did that get to put together? Because you've been in the music industry a long time, mate.
Yeah. I'm only a young fella. I'll turn 50 shortly, but I don't often admit to that. Well, the songs were sort of. A lot of the songs have been I've written. Some of them are over 20 years old. Since I've written them, and they've slowly been building up, and then I thought, well, it's about time I put them down properly, and had a few offers from some really good musos to help out, so I figured I better do it before I die.
So at least you got something to play at the funeral, hey? And now, Greg, you mentioned there, like some of these songs on the album you wrote 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Have you sort of kept them fairly well raw to what they were 20 years ago, or did you have to change them to today's music? Because if you think of country music today and then think of music 20 years ago, just in general, it's a big change, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's sort of funny because 20 years ago when I wrote some of these songs, they weren't really country. They were more along the lines of, I would have thought, 70s sort of rocky sort of stuff. But when you have a listen to country these days, a lot of the country stuff does sound like 70s rock. So I'm sort of lost. I don't really know what my genre is. I'm lost in the middle there somewhere.
And a lot of people are finding that. Like when I listened to a young gentleman last night, we were out and about, and nothing to do with music. I think they had the top pop music being played at the time, and a young gentleman sitting there said, "Oh, you know that guy? You know, he's a country and western singer. You don't hear that anymore, do you? Country and western." No,
there's a real crossover thing happening, isn't there? And they seem to just add a bit of slide guitar to a 70s rock song, and they call it country. So
well, that's right. And when you look at like some of the artists these days, like who's the one that you love coming through at the moment? Oh, you play him all the time. I can't think. Darren's looking at me with a dead blank face. But Jimmy Barnes, you know, he gets up there at country music festivals. We've got Shannon Knoll coming to the Urban Country Music Festival this year. Now, to me, I love Shannon Knoll, please don't get me wrong there, but at a country music festival, I sort of find just because you're born in the country doesn't mean that you're particularly a country artist. But today, everyone's just jumping genres and just going all over the place, and it is confusing.
Yeah. Some of my stuff sounds like very country, and some of it is a little bit sort of more rocky. Some have stolen. Probably the best song on the album wasn't even written by myself. It was written by the mates father.
And which one was that one? Come on.
Oh, Lie to Me is called. Actually, there's a funny story behind that one, because have you got time?
Well, you better tell us. Well, you can't say there's a funny story behind that and go, see ya.
I've got a funny story to tell you. I'll see ya. Yeah.
You better tell us now.
Righto. Well, my ex-duo partner, who's moved on to Sydney up to bigger and better bands, sent me a CD, and he said, there's half a dozen of my songs on there. Can you have a listen to them and tell me what you think? And I went, okay. So I had a good listen. I said, do you want me to be nice or you want me to tell you the truth? And he went, no, tell me the truth. I went, okay, righto. So I listened to them and I picked the best one. I re-recorded it, changed a few words, sent him an MP3 back, and he didn't talk to me for about 3 months. And it turned out it wasn't his song at all. He just put it was a cover of a song that his dad did years ago, and so I've completely changed the words around, and then I end up liking the song so much that I end up getting in contact with the guy who wrote it. His name's Judd Brennan. He lives up around your way, and said, do you mind if I record your song? I told him the story, we all had a good laugh about it. It was so funny.
And what did he think? Does he like it?
Oh, yeah, it doesn't sound as good as his version. No, he's great. Yeah, it was funny, and the funny thing was I'd never heard the original until after I'd finished the album.
We were looking also at track 10, Stuck in the Moment, and a big thanks to Rob Wilson there and Jocelyn Marks.
Rob, yeah.
We caught up, we were away on holidays in November last year and down around Port Stephens, and we caught up with Rob Wilson down there performing at one of the RSL clubs. And,
he's great.
He is terrific talent, isn't he?
I think we've got Rob on next week or the week after,
Okay, you'll have to ask him about the Wagga Blues Brothers. He used to be in a Blues Brothers tribute band in Wagga, and they were huge.
Oh, really? Right.
That was many years ago.
We're getting the dirt. So if this is a huge success, this one-way ticket, you're going to be an overnight success story, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just 30 years in the business and an overnight success story just like that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to leave my real job yet.
Now, Greg, you've joined a new duet at the moment, and I've got to tell you, I've been watching when you put up the suggestions on, what are we going to call the new duet, and I've got to tell you, awesome, because we are huge fans of the Big Bang Theory, and all of a sudden, here you go, the Big Bang Theory. Classic!
I actually put that name down as a joke on we were writing down a whole heap of silly names and trying to come up with, and when I showed my new duo partner, Aaron, that he went, yeah, that's it. I went, no, I'll put that down as a joke, and he went, no, that's the one that's going to stick in everyone's head.
Seriously, that is an absolute winner. Don't change it.
Actually, Aaron's a very good bass player. He was part of, you may have heard of him, there's a band called Bruin out of Canberra, and they've had hits on the country music.
They have, we've got a few here that we play with them.
Yeah, so he was their bass player. He's just recently moved to Wagga.
Now, we finally, before we let you go, I have to tell you that Tracy was doing a Google search on Greg Byng.
I know what you're going to say.
He knows where this is going.
Oh, my Lord, I've gone, well, these are a few years old, these pictures.
Oh, okay, no, that's all right. I thought you were going to talk about the Canadian gay actor.
I am. I was going to say, these are quite a few years old if this is the Greg Byng I'm thinking of.
I haven't got a body like that.
I was going to say, where was I 25 years ago? My goodness, what happened?
She was very
not to Google my name too much anymore. It's too scary.
Because I quickly wanted to just throw your, like the W site up on our thing, so we've got it all there ready, and I've just thrown it in thinking, it's .com. No. There's a www.gregbyng.net. But girls, if you accidentally hit .com, it's okay to have a quick look.
But as Greg just points out, He's not there for the girls, I can tell you that much. GregByng.com. No, indeed he's not. So Greg Byng with a Y.net, you'll find out all about this. It's a terrific album. We're going to go out.
And where can they get the album?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Well, it is available on iTunes or on CD Baby, or there's a link from my website.
There you go. All the information's there. We're going to go out with the title track now. A one-way ticket. Greg Byng, thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks, mate.